Alright guys, how's it going? So today I'm gonna be playing some Galaga for the NES. As you can see, I'm gonna be playing it from my 150 in 1 Pocket Games cartridge on original hardware, of course. I actually did the prequel to this, Galaxian, the original game of the series, if you will. I mean, everybody knows Galaga, but not so many people are aware that Galaxian is the original game of the series that came out like a couple of years before, actually, in the arcades. But yeah, I'm playing specifically the NES port, which I think also got released on the in North America. I say this because usually, I mean, I remember like lots of examples of games that were originally released for the Famicom, the Japanese NES, and most of them were arcade ports, but they never got a release in North America or even Europe. Most of them were like in Japan. I think that's the case of Galaxian, but not the case of Galaga. I think Galaga did have a North American release, not entirely sure though. Well, as you know, this game is one of those shooter games from the early era of shoot 'em ups as such that basically were endless. I'm not sure if the NES version got something different to it. I would dare to say it doesn't have anything different, doesn't have an ending as such. Many of the sequels do have actually more endings, or at least an end to it. I have played a couple of the sequels on camera. I remember doing, well, apart from Galaxian, I have done Galaga before. Ga Plus, which I think it was an arcade exclusive. Galaga 88, which was re-released on the TurboGrafx 16/PC engine as Galaga 90. And a couple of remakes as well. I mean, they're, again, this game has been like re-released on a series of Namco arcade game compilations. I mean, there are way too many. Probably if there is a company that made too many game compilations apart from Capcom, probably Namco is the case. Well, and Sega, not to mention Sega. But yeah, Namco did release a shit ton of arcade re-releases, remixes, compilations. We're gonna be taking a look at a few of them in the near future, now that I'm playing this version. I remember playing the arcade version to Galaga, but for some reason I have a slight preference towards the NES port. You know, I'm a big fan of arcades and usually prefer arcades over console counterparts, or console ports, if you will, but in the case of Galaga specifically, also can be applied to Galaxian, if you will, they're pretty solid, and also they used a little bit more of a widescreen for the gameplay itself. And as you can see, the data is not at the top or bottom of the screen, but basically they use a space on the side of the screen, so you can basically have a full like view of the environment and the stage itself, fully dedicated to your character and the monsters that are attacking you. So in that regard, I think that the NES counterparts of these arcade classics are pretty solid. I think also applies to Pac-Man, as a matter of fact. When I was doing my little practice or my little test, nice, I got an extra life. I managed to get a double shot. You know, under very specific circumstances. Well, it's not a circumstance, it's basically you can cause that. You make one of the enemies turn to another color. He basically captures your ship. Then when you kill the guy that captured your ship, you can recover it, and so you basically get a second shot. I usually get that, for example, that enemy that is at the top, actually, when you turn it blue, he can eventually capture your ship. Let's see if I can apply something like that before I either get killed or I kill everybody else. But as you can see, I'm not really strategizing so much about what I'm doing here. I'm basically trying to avoid the enemies, their bullets, their attacks, and kill whatever is in front of me without discriminating. So, Stage 9, actually I've been making quite a bit of progress without dying. I think I have accomplished more than what I ever imagined in this game. I mean, you can do pretty good in the first 10 stages, then you choke. At least I'm talking about myself, my own experience. Back in the day, I wasn't able to clear more than 2 or 3 stages. Now at least I can like advance 3 times that amount, you know. That's the one. Yeah, I let myself get captured. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to recover it. I have to kill this blue guy without destroying my own ship, though. There it is. I don't know if it counts like an extra life. I mean, actually, yes, it sort of does count as an extra hit, at the very least. You are more vulnerable because your hitbox literally got twice as big. But with this, at least I can make a little bit more progress, see if I can get a few extra points in this challenging stage, which is nothing but a bonus stage. Yeah, I didn't get all the points here. There are 40 enemies in total in these challenging stages. Yeah, if I got the double shot in the first stage, more than likely I would be able to kill all 40 enemies in the first challenging stage. Yeah, I let 6 of them survive. Again, this is for the sake of points, and eventually points will give you extra lives. So I guess, in the end, is kind of necessary. It's not just luxury to be able to get all of those points. Especially using a double shot that I just lost. As you can see, because, like I said, my hitbox is twice as more powerful, but twice as more vulnerable as well. And onto my extra on my last life. I'm gonna give this a second attempt, by the way. Oh, did I get an extra life? You know what? The temptation is really high here. I technically lost a life by getting my... No, I killed my own ship. And if I get captured again with no lives, it's automatic game over. Speaking of which, I just lost. I've been playing for 8 minutes. It's not a bad amount. Actually, I was basically thinking of doing 2 runs in 10 minutes. So I guess I'm gonna give it another go before calling it good. And I think this music goes forever. I'm not sure if this actually is in the arcade. Oh no, it doesn't go forever. Oh yeah, this is the Japanese release, if I'm not mistaken, because it says Namcot. But trust me guys, I will eventually be doing some of these Namco arcade game compilations, some of them with very good rearrangements or remixes. You guys probably remember when I did the Red of Sadness a few years ago, I was actually... I actually did a playthrough of a remake of Pac-Man. A very good one, which actually got basically like a 1-1, 1-2 type of level organization, if you will. I want to get captured. This guy is the one that should capture my ship. Well, I mean, one of these guys is those that capture your ship. I don't know if this one specifically does. Now, at this point, if he doesn't do it now, or if he didn't do it before, why would he do it now? It's probably another one of the blue guys, not just any of them. Anyway, I'll deal with it. Let's see if any of these 3 guys now in blue... Oh shit, okay. It's kind of too soon to lose a life. There it is. Capture me. But now, again, you have to fulfill the second condition here, which is to kill this guy without... Well, I did it again. Honestly, this is like an automatic reset. Actually, I'm gonna get myself get killed because on my last life, before even making it to the first bonus, it's like, no. Let's try to get a double shot in this first stage instead of the second one. Let's see if that makes any difference at all. At all. Yeah, any of these four. Well, I already killed one. Anytime. Yeah, but please don't kill my own ship. Yeah, the problem is that this guy automatically moves. Oh, it doesn't... Wow, my former ship actually was moving on its own. Did you see that? Alright, I'm gonna kill myself again and do a proper run without worrying about trying to get a double shot in the first stage or the second stage or whatever. At least I showed you that. I showed you the thing and I made it last like at least 1 or 2 levels. It would have been worse not to show it ever in any of my attempts. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to do 2 full runs. Like actual legitimate runs. Me trying to beat as many levels as I can. I think I got to stage 12, 11, 12. Honestly, don't remember. Actually, the more I play this, the more I want to play some of the sequels. Those that actually have endings and everything. Oh man, that... Dude! I was given this chance. Let's try to accomplish it. Nice, recovered it. Wait, isn't this the first or the second stage? It's still the second stage. Right before that challenging stage. Let's see if we can get all 40 guys. I guess I'm given some extra points. Okay, I didn't have to even move. Okay, it must be like the second or third time I ever got all 40 fighters. Oh my god, okay. I forgot that I got double shot, so I only lost 1. And I record the extra life. So basically I have the default amount. As you can see, for example, Galaga, if you compare it to Space Invaders, the aliens themselves, or the enemies themselves, do not shoot all that often. However, after like stage 12 or something like that, they become a lot more aggressive, especially when it comes to shooting bullets. They do it super often. I make the comparison with Space Invaders because even from the very first stage, which is basically the only stage in the entire game, basically in any loop, the enemies keep shooting constantly, and that's probably the main difficulty of Space Invaders in general. Like to the point of basically getting lots of game overs in your very first attempt or your very first loop, trying to clear it, because they shoot endlessly. Okay, I'm doing much worse in this one. I was a lot more concentrated in my first run. That usually happens when I record. It's like your first attempt or the first time you ever play the game, you do fantastic, and then when you have it more memorized, and you are consciously trying to make progress, you do worse, which is the case apparently in this one attempt. Alright guys, that was Galaga for the NES. I should say this one is the Famicom version, if you will, but you know what exactly I'm trying to address here. So stay tuned. I'll bring you another NES game, playing it from real console, soon enough, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching.